Yes.
We have him.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
hi.
Hello.
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 Yeah.
Hi.
Good evening, Denmark.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today we are with Austin, which is from the
Left angles.
Snaptangles, an amazing project. And thank you very much for joining us.
Really.
It's a honor.
Hello.
So I really so usually when we start our podcast, we would like to you to introduce a little bit yourself, because everyone has you know many introduction from other people, but sometimes it doesn't really is the same that what we really think about of ourselves. So if you can tell us something about your background in the way you see it.
Oh, okay. Our background. So we grew in the forests of London, in the deep, in the moist, fertile environment. And I mean, if we're going to hide behind masks and voices, so the algorithm can't track us.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're basically the Snaptankles was a project that we grew in the corners of old warehouses, and the we've always tried to kind of find ways to present and perform and make strange music that's sort of familiar, and we're just always looking for ways to kind of have fun with the furniture of being a band, from and sing the songs that kind of hopefully capture the moment. So the background wise, yeah, we just grown in a little corner and enjoy, can't really help performing and playing nice and fast, and where there's lots of millions of little scenes everywhere, aren't there? Micro scenes of micro scenes, old music, new music, all types. And I think with this band, we really wanted something that felt a little bit like it's out on its own, even though all our influences might be the same as everyone else's, from rock and roll, old rock and roll, to new rock and roll, to Iggy and the Stooges, to techno, to whatever. You throw it all in the pot, everyone can hear everything now at a click. So influences and scenes are all these just sort of melting pots, and I think that's something we, by taking this form of the forest dwellers, anonymous and camouflage, we're hidden, and it's focusing on the melting pot that
Yeah.
that a band can create, a group. For us, the mass function, to bring a group of people together, and so you don't, as the audience, you're not sort of necessarily looking at the ego. You're watching a machine. So yeah, so that's a bit of our sort of long background in a short
Yeah,
space.
we know. I would like to ask a question. I mean,
Yeah.
you have been like playing and I think making a lot of music in a place that doesn't exist anymore, right? Am I wrong in saying that? It
When
was
we started.
yeah, exactly. And so I think that particular moment was pretty magical. I think pretty peculiar. I mean, you could perform with a lot of other artists, as far as I could read, and I guess there was a particular atmosphere as well, right? In that moment. I would like to ask you if that part of your story, like how do you try also to reproduce something coming from that period, or is something that is it something comparable what you're doing right now, or you just think it's completely different? Do you think you bring something from there as well?
it's always part of our DNA, really. So that particular, in order to grow a project, and obviously we wanted to, like I was saying, we wanted to sort of, I really like an influence would be world music that feels like it comes from something outside your own culture. So, for instance, even though there's elements of maybe Devo or old rock and roll and all these other, our culture might be 50s delinquent music or something like that. Having that space, this was a big warehouse space we had until 2015, allowed us to present these sketches of ideas, not fully formed. We'd play as a band just one note for as long as we could, to and things like that in a short in a sort of 20-minute. We'd have 20-minute slots. Try not to, but you're outside of the band scene, the black box. You're not in Camden in London, or you're not. It's not the leather jacket scene. There's not the kind of. It's not codified. It's codified differently. It's much more. We weren't performing with other bands. We had minimal dance pieces going on. We had friends of mine who do AV multi-projection mixed with a little bit of technology and a Twitter feed or something. So it's all like people having ideas, and that feeds into the project. And then this Snapped Ankles, can dine on these ideas for a long time. Eventually, now, obviously, that was 10 years ago now. So we're sort of now looking at, we still imagine, I think that's still in our DNA, because the notion of a warehouse, the notion of this space where we're not bound by the stage, for instance, the rock stage, the classic, the rock stage, bass player on the left, drums in the middle, guitar amps, etc., lighting across the front, flashing at you. These are it's 2026. Those were things that were developed in the maybe came to their fore in the 1960s. In the 50s, they would be more cabaret. In the 40s, it would be vaudeville, or 30s. So this is a linear thing, but those things are quite stuck. The band PA, for God's sake. Club music has improved it. In London at the moment, we're having a massive sound system revival. So you go to these clubs, and instead of speakers in the ceiling, and now it's like this kind of 1980s street corner giant totem pole. So on our last album, we made this kind of ritual about the speakers. I think it's partly, there's a kind of fun to be had and an exploration to be had with the form, and it's being quite meta in terms of bands singing about bands dressing like snipers or something, which is obviously some of the costumes and things we have were freaky things. They're not about the military or anything, but if you look at post-punk, they dressed in army clothes and secondhand clothes. So everything is codified, basically, and we're just looking at how to, as always, trying to subvert it and have fun with it, and then sing some songs around it and see what happens. So the short answer is the space is still in our DNA, and we still reference it. On the last album, we wanted to make more dancey, more referencing modern dance music without being genre specific. So like without these things, because everyone's instruments are now pretty much the same. Everyone has one of these, and a screen. So we're all using similar stuff. So it gets harder to make freaky, weird music. You either have to be bloody amazing at your instrument and dig deep, or do your 10,000 hours or whatever. And I think, you know, we can't be arsed with that. So I think we pretend we're in that warehouse back in 2014 in the cold. And we're at a party, we're at a little rave. Here we go. We turn the lights out, and put a torch on. Here, yeah, you know, and it's
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
power's
yeah.
gone. You know, you're at a Snapped Ankles concert. There we go.
Yes, yes.
So that's it. That's it. We're off.
Yeah.
Wow.
You are
Um,
perfectly recognizable now.
Now, yeah.
oh, we're here. It's getting dark now. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the log.
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
here's the log. Yeah. Oh yeah. For those of you tuning in who haven't seen us, we hit logs.
That's
There you go.
amazing.
Oh, it's all.
I have to say at the beginning when you like entered the room, it was wow, mind blowing. Really, really mind blowing. Amazing, amazing.
And about the last question, I just would like to ask if you still meet and perform with any of the artists that you used to perform with back in the days.
Who have you been speaking to? Is someone gossiping? We still meet. I think we haven't. Yeah, we do. I'm trying to think. It's sort of that once a scene sort of breaks up, everyone goes back in. The good thing about having a space where a collective space and all these artists coming in is because normally people work in silo so often with their, you know, artists have their little work in studios in hutches and you don't see anyone, or people work in offices, or dancers have to hire a rehearsal space. So having that space back then allowed everyone to come together. Afterwards, it's really hard to see people. You have to go to their events, or they have to get funding. And we have worked with some people where we like visual artist Daisy Dickinson was doing our AV, doing all the and helping with the videos and everything on the album before this one. The last album we didn't have any. I think we were sort of focused on this DIY sort of rave thing. We worked with a art director, Louise Mason, who's very talented, and on this sort of artwork. But that's it really. I mean, but like I say, it was more dancers and tech, lighting. A guy, Charlie Hope, does lighting. Jamie Hamilton is a composer. There's a few people we know who are like really kind of talented and doing their thing, but it's only when you have the space and you're all having a kind of make up a bit of a performance. The other thing with this space is we couldn't have just a big party. It couldn't just be DJs and let's go, because there were neighbors and we get kicked out. So it had to be, so that made us put on performance nights. So it was a needs must, as they say.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask, like right now, when you play, do you have a certain amount of improvisation, like compared to what you usually perform, or from your starting point? Do you try to improvise as much as possible, or it's just something that you keep quite steady?
I'd like to say yes, but I won't. So right now the set we have now is super tight, because I think because we've done 4 or 5 albums, we got like it's like, oh no, we want to play this song and we want to play this song and we want to play that. There's no space unless we go, okay, tonight we are going to do 4 songs in an hour and they're going to be 15 minutes each. But I think at the moment we kind of, and also working in the sort of more like a dance music genre. There was a sort of, we always had it quite fluid at points, and you'd have your sort of little song, like a poppy little song, and then leave space. I think the latest record is so many crammed with ideas. It's the sort of fluidity is actually everything's quite locked in, and that works in terms of like almost like a soul review show. Like you said, we come on, it's bang, you know, we're like, da,
Yeah,
oh la 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 la, you know, we're off like a soul band, and it's tight as. And there's something, the drilling and the beauty in a kind of very regimented band is something that's to sort of like, oh great, you know, I would like to see that. But at the same time, I think in order to do good improvisation, and we did more, Fran, to your point, so I definitely did, we were much more improvised when we had spaces like you were talking. So
Yeah.
we had more time and space. There were no rules around our stage, and maybe we'd have a film playing over. So it was all kind of, oh yeah, whatever, just do your thing. I think now on the sort of touring that we do and the stages that we have to go on, you just can't do that. People would be, oh great, you're going to do an ambient half an hour, you know. We've got all the tools in front of us to do that. It's really frustrating. We'd love all to go off on a massive symphony for 4 hours, if everyone can keep standing up with their masks on. But you know, I mean, one of my favorite bands is Can, and obviously they would do, you know, doing 4 hours of set was nothing to them, you know. It would be,
Yeah.
that's like a pop song. But I think you've got to do, yeah, that requires good improvised groups, require this space, require these stages that allow the time. And I think, you know, I think we play to the stage that we're given, really.
sure. And
Well, we've done a Can cover. Someone said do a
yeah,
Can cover. We've done one on Violations. We violated it. It's
Wow.
not a cover version, it's a violation.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And so you use some like fixed instruments and tools, but do you add some other sometimes or plan to do it?
We've got we try and use we try to make everything, I don't know what they call it, out of the box. Yeah, so real instruments, things you can touch, things you can
Sure.
lick, instruments that you can lick.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, like this.
And you know, there's a wall here of old stuff. There we go. There's that's tidy.
Yeah.
Well, that's tidy in the woods. Yeah. So we've got lots of old instruments, and then, you know, you can make an old instrument sound like some crazy new thing with a little granular delay or something like that. So it's quite, yeah. Is that is that answering the question a bit, or am I going off piste?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And have you ever tried to play together, like with the sound of the nature, like putting sensor on living trees or mushrooms or something like this?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
Every weekend. Yeah, every weekend. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the trees they didn't like it though. We had to speak. They complained to their union and said, please stop coming and bothering us with this. You know, we use the electricity for our communication. You're fucking with us by coming and you know, plugging your synths in, and you hipsters with your kind of natural organic synthesizers.
And like when you so you go and like go in the forest and you create something and you play, usually like do you encounter people, like, and how is it like if you encounter people, what do they do, like do they just stay with you, do they join, do they
like
participate or
who's this? It's Fran, sorry, who's that?
Sorry,
who are you talking about? Who joins us?
No, I mean if you're in the forest, for example, and you're
Yeah.
doing some rehearsing, and then and some people meet you, like random people.
Ah,
Like what happens? Like do they
we've had
join
that.
you?
Dog walkers, normally dog walkers, people walking the dog, and we've done various things because in the woods, in
Yeah.
like so all the woods in the UK, all that's left were the old hunting, the ones near us. They're either hunting grounds for the king, or these, that's the reason why they haven't been knocked down, the old woods. And so you've got to be, there's lots, you can't just do what you want in the woods, basically. No, I mean, in England and across Europe, isn't it? It's all private land, whatever. And whether it's either a tree farm, or it's an ancient woodland that's owned by the king or something, and you can't stop. And we kept going back doing videos, and when we would have an interview like this, if it wasn't wet and cold outside, I would be in the woods doing this, of course, for you guys. I promise. And we'd go there, and we'd have a little speaker. I'd take my little battery powered log, and we'd have a little practice in the woods, and we'd like maybe what do you call in Denmark, doggers?
Oh,
Do you know doggers? Dogging?
I mean, we're Italians, so I'm not entirely
You're
sure.
Italian. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Frank. So in Italy, what do you call the people who go to the car park near the woods to have sex?
Oh.
They're like in UK it's called dogging. So it's the people.
Okay.
So they go, and so it's like exhibitionism. You go and with you people.
We call them something like teenagers in difficulties without that they only have a car or something like that.
Yeah. But it's more like it's a fetish, freaky scene. So you go and like you like to be watched. It's a weird thing. It's like it's like a voyeur.
Yeah, esibizionista, I think is the
esibizionista. I think.
Well, this is okay. So we went and did a video in the woods one night, and we parked in this car park. And when we came back in the middle, all in costume, with our logs and things, we came back, and suddenly the empty car park was full of cars. And these people are all like that, and they have a special language. They don't. No one speaks. They just move their mirrors and smoke cigarettes, and it's just weird. And so I say, like you say, what do people think when they see us in the woods? It's more like what do we think of people when we see them in the woods?
Amazing.
That's so cool. That's really amazing.
And so this is the usual way that you make your album go, right? Like when you create your album, right? Is it
songs? Yeah, 20. Well, we had our first album. We were trying 20 attempts at a Christmas #1, and maybe the next album should be music for dogging or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I mean, it would be appreciated.
Cool. Yeah.
Moon dogging. Let's call it moon dogging. That's cooler, isn't it? Moon dogging. I
think that will be the title of this interview at the
end. On YouTube. It's a full moon. It's a full moon tonight, isn't it? It's a proper, and it's partial lunar eclipse. Yes. There's something. See, we get it in there somehow, as they say. I'd love to do a Moondog cover, Mr. De Perziala. De Persla.
The Persia, yeah. So I mean, you took, as far as I could read, you took a lot of inspiration also from some folklore around the world, like from Mamutones in Sardinia.
Oh yeah, we love the Mamutones.
Yes. So I mean, can you tell us something about that, and how did you? I mean, we also love that, and we just been to Bulgaria to see all the cookery and stuff.
Oh wow! I've never seen that one. I've seen the pictures. Well, so first of all, I think when we were like looking at the, what could a band be, etc. Do we just try and be cool like a normal band? And it was like, no. um, and I'd seen. I think it was first of all. I had a book on carnival masks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So masks from around the world for carnival, which
Yeah.
is obviously the same time as Mamoutons. It's in the winter. Are you coming out of winter and you want to celebrate the new light, but also the masks are grotesque. Obviously, now in the calendar we have Halloween and all these things all link up.
Yeah.
And I think I guess because I'm a big fan of old music, like my father was crazy about Elvis, and
Oh,
it was and I loved when I was a student. I went crazy for Iggy and the Stooges, when he was really crazy, and it was like, what is it about these? And Elvis had this kind of, it was his hips, wasn't it? When he became famous, they wouldn't show his hips because it was too dangerous.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And Iggy understood this. Iggy understood this thing about the clown and he's like kind of went, I'll be the worst thing I could possibly be on stage is what people want to see. And so it was that element of it. It's like, I'm not going to take my clothes off and cut myself. I'm not that kind of person. But how could we build a band that's got a bit of that kind of thing? And I started looking around and I saw all the pagan stuff, and that's what those represent, isn't it? The Mamoutons and the Kukari,
Okay. Yeah.
Kukari. And in England we have the Woodwows and the
Yeah.
Green Man, and they represent the fear, the group, the communities, the societal fear of the outside, or the delinquent, or the what is to say to children, don't be like this.
Yeah.
And that we kept coming. I mean, in my partner's Czech, so they have the devil with the tongue at
Oh,
Christmas,
yeah.
with the red tongue, and they come around, and it's all, nowadays it's all quite heavy metal and quite kind of like
Yeah.
the guy, the folk who do it in the village will get really excited, and it looks great on Instagram. But I think when we started off, there wasn't Instagram, and we just had sort of some books, and then myself and a filmmaker Saul, we went looking for seeing what the pagan in January, what do they do in England in the countryside,
Yeah.
and we filmed it and we talked to people, and some of the things are newer, in England we have the Morris dancers,
Yeah.
and that's like a fake ritual, that's a new ritual. So societies are constantly making up new rituals. So
That's funny.
there'll be, I was reading a book about rituals. There was some tribe in Mauritius or somewhere like that, and the anthropologist gets there and goes, oh, they do all this dressing up and fire walking, and they said, yeah, they only started it about a year before, but
Yeah,
the tourists really love it, and they keep doing it, and now it's become the thing that village does really well. So it is that whole thing of there's what is pagan. It's just like we need these reminders, and
Yeah.
that's partly, I saw that taps perhaps into the songs that bands like us and works well in a club environment sing. So I mean, it all relates to itself in ways, and it gives us more inspiration.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
are you,
Krampus, that's it.
are you right now planning to participate as artist in one of the celebrations, or not?
No.
Mm.
because
Easy.
no, because it's when you go to those things, they're just not cool. When you actually they're fun,
Yeah.
but they're not kind of the place for art. They're the place for communities to come together and celebrate or have a bit of fun and maybe drink some glühwein or something. And in England in the winter they do one. The one I went to in January, which is the wassail. So we wake up the trees. That you go to the oldest tree in the orchard, and then everyone gathers around with fire torches and makes loads of noise, and then they hit the tree with sticks. And then after that, they go to the barn and they all drink the cider that's been brewing over the winter. And it's these sort of things. It's like, yeah, oh great, we could play that, but it's like, no, it's weird. It's more fun for us to be outside of that scene
Yeah.
and placing sort of some of this notional, pagan stuff into the scene of, I don't know, alternative electro
Yeah.
funk,
Yeah.
electro
Yeah.
disco funk.
Yeah, I mean, we were also talking a little bit about this, because there are like big festivals that are about this
Yeah.
huge traditions that were very, very small in small villages, right? So it's something that now it's in a big festival, for example, like Surva, right?
Right.
Like in Pernik, actually. But
Oh,
of
send
course,
me a link to that one, Solva.
yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure, yes, Surva.
Yeah, we made like an article about
Yeah.
the masks in Bulgaria. It's really interesting. Yeah, we will
Yeah.
send you for sure.
Yeah, we made an article both about Surva and also about we tried to go a little bit in the literature about what are the kinds of the masks. So we
Yeah.
kind of tried to make some schematic classification of that. So it's we are planning to try to go to some more mountainous, more
Let me see what I've got. Let me have a look. I've got a collection of masks. Hold on a sec. Let's
nice.
have a look on the wall and see what we've got. We might have some.
I love it.
Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So look, there's a.
Wow.
That one's a Mamuton. That's some said. Can you see that? Hold on. Where is it? There we go.
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on. There we are. Mamuton.
Amazing.
This one. Right, that's an African castration mask. You see the face?
Yeah.
Ooh, he's going, ooh.
Oh.
I think that's another. This is all the Canaries where they have the nostrils.
Yeah.
And here we have some other ones. Oh, these are. This is from a really silly tribe. Don't know who they are, but they keep fighting.
Okay.
This is a recent one. This is from the Canaries, where the nostrils are the same size as the eyes, which I quite like.
Yes. Totally.
And this is now because this hairy one.
Yeah.
Here, this is my friends bought me this because they knew I like masks.
Yeah. They know what to do for a birthday.
Yeah. So there you go. So that we can talk masks. But I think
thanks for showing it. We are like we are really like
too,
that.
because we used to also build masks.
Yeah.
So
very nice.
we're really into it.
Yeah, we don't have anything to do, in our life, so sometimes we just make masks. We have the craft today. It's
like
nice. Yeah, kids but we love that. So it's I think I mean we really enjoy this old tradition. We have some also in Italy, even if they are kind of been lost right now, but especially in southern Italy,
in
especially
Sicily,
where you come from.
Amazing.
Yeah,
they
have
really
this
cool.
devils like this very reddish like devils.
I mean, I think we'd love to do something like that, but I think it would have to be in the right way. I've always thought we could do. So another big inspiration was sort of classic for lots of musicians, are inspired by Kraftwerk.
Oh yeah.
And but I like Kraftwerk when the bit where they changed from a rock kind of cosmic rock band and then went, actually, we think the future's going to be robotic and they started slowly. They got the instruments. They couldn't get a drummer. Then they get two classical percussionists, and then they started on this journey of inventing, an electronic dance music. And I think that's a fascinating point they had, where they sort of saw, almost for the theatre of it, oh, well, how do we, it's 1975, how are we going to present this? What's the future look like, sort of thing. And for us now, with we're not a few years away from perhaps more, or the technology is now embedded almost in us, literally, and organic, making music or language, and even thinking now is not that irrelevant. We don't have to think, because our machine, what we are and what the machines are. So we're in a new age. We're not going to dress up as robots, because we've already got robots. We're gonna there's the sense that we become you see with people power and protest, and even this platform, social media, we become more of a sort of sentient organism. And I think that connection with nature, in the sort of, not a new age way, not an old fashioned sense of connection with nature, more of a kind of, from the economics of nature, the like Herzog's kind of like the wildness of nature, there's just fornication and chaos. I think that's something that, now in sort of late capitalism, a lot of people are sort of embracing, especially now the idiots have got their gloves off and are in charge of the war machines and things again. And now it's all the kind of what humans have always been doing is, and being absolute arseholes, is all very clear to see. So, I think that part with nature is part of when we was looking at these costumes, like, oh, right, we could be this swampy monsters and we could be the fears of the forest, or when we lost the warehouse, we dressed up as estate agents. And we kept we kept the heads on, and it was the estate agents were the worst thing that anyone would want to see, with their cheap suits and shitty shoes. And we'd turn up. No offense to any estate agents listening, please, but London developers are another thing, and we'd sell the venue to the to the audience, or to a Chinese hedge fund bank, in front of them, because every time we were, all our gigs used to be at the closing party of the warehouse. We had about 5 years where every gig we did was a closing party. So yeah, I think that's it. Nature comes at us.
I would like to ask a question that goes on this, like, I think you also developed, I remember you also developed something about developed some thought about the AI, right? It's so how, machine learning, deep learning is something that was in our hands, in the scientists' hands for decades anyway, but nowadays it's in the hand of everyone, so everyone can play around with AI. It can be, and everyone can be politician, can be
it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's say so. And I'm trying to figure out what could be the consequences, like in the next future. And I don't know if you can. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't. We like to say the clever folk who have invented AI are partly at the rapture about it, and some are very scared of what it could do, in terms of, because there's no regulation on it. And it's so powerful. I see it a bit like the invention of the photograph and film. So that didn't kill painting. At the time, people thought it would kill painting. People thought that was it for creativity, because you can capture light.
Yes.
Now, I suppose with the AI equivalent is thought. It can capture history, it can capture thought. So we don't need to think so much. We definitely we can tools. It can make our tools for us. We still have language, but it can translate the languages. So I don't know where, but if you look at what happened after photography to painting, that could offer a positive because it meant painting got fucking weird.
Yeah.
And we had modernism. So
Yeah.
you had abstraction, and so I think that's what I think on a positive. If we can, if someone doesn't fall on the button, or which is again another fear, isn't it? Every society is always fearing absolute apocalypse,
Yeah.
and no one does the fear of the apocalypse better than the US of A. So it's kind of it's built into the religions and the rituals of the world. So let's look on the positive. Let's travel in hope, and maybe it's like the photograph and the painting.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, but it is interesting, and each time a new version, each week at the moment, because it's so
Yeah.
fast with what can be done now. We are seeing an acceleration in the amount of uses for it now, and it's not just about face swapping and putting Greta Thunberg in your photos standing next to you, which we did for about 5 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. In a way, it's a positive is very
Yeah, I mean,
It's the
it's
best
like
way to take it.
I think it's like the Krampus thing, right?
Yeah.
Try you know.
come on, kids.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be good to your parents, or I'll lick you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's the best.
I love
And
that.
so I have another question. And do you think so? We used to live in UK like years ago.
Yeah,
Ah,
way before Brexit.
Yeah.
fuck that Brexit, man. That was the yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think, since from so there are a lot of amazing musicians of artists from UK, do you think that coming from UK made a huge difference in the way you make music nowadays?
Don't know. I mean, it's a tough. UK's always been a tough place for music. It's not very well funded, but it's also a huge culturally competitive. So everyone, if you leave school, you'll know 5 or 6 bands in that school or whatever of all types of music, or DJs or friends who are DJs. So it's just very, very competitive. And a small island with lots of people, with not much space to dance, so you've got to work hard here basically to get to make music, to make it work. And that's getting harder and harder with cost of living, and it's interesting that we toured a bit in Europe and France, which is super well, traditionally was really well funded, and is now getting really slashed. And they've got this amazing music scene that's not that competitive. It's like everyone's quite comfortable, and so you get some really good experimental bands in France. You get some really, they do what they do amazingly, but it's not got that sort of slightly aggressively uncomfortable. And then in England, we've got obviously this stupid class system, and you got people who you got the sort of, the music in the north is much harder and brasher, and they've got something to fight for. And there's a lot of different. Obviously each place has its thing. I think more importantly as well is the industry in the UK, which is you know, sort of as always, the British have always been sort of the posh pirates of the world, haven't they? We've always been trying to like organize everything. And the music business is not, you know, it's obviously the money's not in the UK anymore, but there is that of kind of like they always trying to, you know, kids are coming up from school, they're learning. I don't know, you can get an A level in, I don't know, probably Iggy and the Stooges, or some pop thing, but you can learn these creative things. And so again, there's Brit School, there's all these bands from various schools now, and so it's just super competitive basically, and that maybe is something that it just makes you kind of, you know, everything when you put out when you do anything, it's always a bit of, especially as a band, it's a bit of a compromise. You know, it's like a director of a film, as Scorsese said, every film is a compromised idea. You know, it's just the fact of making it. And so I think when things are quite, you got to work hard on the last album. Our label Leaf, when we're literally, no, that's not kind of good enough, that can't go out, you know, that's not ready yet. And we were like, oh man, so we've got to go and play it again, record it again. But you can hear the record sounds very live and played, even though it's quite electronic, and it's got a, it's so it is always that thing of you know, it's just going that extra way. And maybe that's something unique. I don't think it's unique to the British, but I think it's just there is a heck of a lot of competition here, basically.
Yeah, totally. Like I would like to make another question. Like I mean, we could stay really a long time to talk to you because it's so nice. But I would like to make another question, like a last question about your plans. Like you have been just doing a tour, and is there anything that you would like to say about your next future, and anything you're going to do, and you would like, or any, you know, wish, anything that you would like to do?
I wish, like I say, stop dropping bombs on people, and and obviously let the Palestinians have some space. But I think, you know, our next steps now, we've just come out of a busy year. I say hi to Paul Digby there. How you doing, Paul? It's been, you know, we're now hitting into, now it's festival time basically. So we're just having, we did 80 shows in the last year.
Yeah.
So that's quite a lot for 160 BPM plus. So now it's kind of like, a few weeks, let's go and retune the log. Hold on, let's get a good note on the log. There we go.
Yeah.
And then we'll see. We're planning. Yeah, we've got a few festivals. I don't think we're in Copenhagen for a while. So yeah, put the word out. Paul Digby says he lost his wallet. I don't have it, Paul, unfortunately. But
Sorry, Paul.
Oh, Joey's got it. Someone else has got it.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Hi, Joey. Hi, Paul. Who else have we got? Yeah. So we're not coming to Copenhagen straight away, but keep on keeping on. And if you see any art spots at any good pagan festivals for us, you know, put a word in, and it'd be nice to, I think it'd be nice to go, that sort of thing. You want to do a residency, don't you, and kind of hang out spend a few days with maybe some locals who know what the costumes mean, the masks mean, and how to behave, you know, what not to do, where the good dogging spots are. And then we'll do the gig there. Yeah, so we'll do the gigs in the dogging spots basically.
I mean, here in Denmark, they're pretty easygoing. So yeah.
Oh, I mean,
We can,
they're straight up. They don't need to like hide it and
No,
feel
no,
like
no.
that.
no.
It's like, oh yeah.
I true, but there was like a moment where they like built something to jump in the water in the channels, and they say if you do it naked, it's free of charge,
Oh
and
right.
no one was paying. Basically, no
No.
one cared. Like,
So it's actively encouraged. Yeah, I mean, it's just that's the problem with us English. We're too fully clothed. Look at us. We've got so many clothes on. We're so prudish in our woods.
That's so good.
I love it.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Thanks to
Well,
Paul and Joey and
thank you.
a few and Depursia. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Once on the Voids. Who are the Voids? That's the new band, isn't it?
yeah,
Oh, cheers, guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so yeah, exactly. I mean, let's really thanks everyone that was
Really.
attending and that was watching. And I really would like to thank you, Austin, for being with us. It was a pleasure to meet you. And
Well, nice to meet
now
you.
then